Oh, what is going on, everybody?
Hello!
That caught me off guard. It is Pixel Partners here, and welcome back to the greatest story in 2. When we left off, we are back in court as Naruhodo again. Finally, Juror 3 wants to get stepped on by Van Zeeks, but that's not the point right now. We're going to move past that and get back into the normalcy, and we're going to begin the trial. That was one of those unexpected moments where, because of the text lines where you read it as it's going, you don't know what's happening until the very end of it, and you go, whoa, what?
Yeah, we were like, wait.
whoa.
Hold up.
Now then. Oh, goodness.
Lord Van Zeek's opening statement, if you please.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do not intend to condemn you. However, our meeting today is the direct result of your failure to declare this Japanese man guilty.
Ooh.
Far from repentance of his sins, far from setting himself on a true and just path, the defendant simply ran off and committed yet another horrific crime in our city.
But he didn't do anything the first time.
He attempted to murder a sinless Englishman living quietly in his home. The prosecution would like to call its first witnesses.
Dang, already. All right.
Jacket's gone.
The inspector in charge of the crime scene and the defendant himself will take the stand.
Bro, that's not a jacket. That's a straight up cape.
You right. Hey, guys.
Oh, he just reminded me I want fish and chips. God dang it.
Witnesses, state your names and
Add that to the grocery
occupations.
list.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Inspector Scotland Yard's Criminal Investigation Department.
Doesn't help that I'm hungry right now.
Oh, I have a second out to make.
Yes, you are.
I am an exchange student ordered by the government to study the English language.
Defendant,
Yes, my lord.
welcome back. I believe you swore before the court that you would never end up in the defendant's seat again. I remember it almost as though it was yesterday.
It was only 2 days ago, my lord, which may explain why you feel that way.
I'm not standing here because I want to.
Now then, Inspector, please give an explanation of the incident.
Right away, my lord.
All right, so what is the incident we have?
The crime occurred on the floor below the defendant's flat, owned by Mr. Gardup. More specifically, it happened in the victim, one William Pretency's room. The defendant admits to having visited his room on that same night. The victim collapsed after ingesting a poison called Streichstein.
I don't.
Relatives there was a Mr. Lund broke down the door and found the scene.
And then the screen went black.
It's never 9. It's always
There we go.
mean when it's.
That thing. I'll pretend I know what
Do you
that
remember
is. but-
atriquinine? You called it atriquinine at first.
Well, my bad.
In medical terms, when it's spelled out 9, it's pronounced neen. Usually.
All right.
Which means that at the time of the crime, the door was locked, correct?
Quite so. It was locked from the inside, and as such, one could neither enter nor leave.
The victim, Mr. Pretency, may be alive now, but there's no denying that he was very close to death.
I see. Forgot that was me.
Furthermore, I myself was on the scene after the incident's discovery. As such, I have a photograph that captures the scene of the moment.
Yep, that was the thing.
Dear me, I couldn't fault anyone for believing the victim was dead, if this is what they saw.
Right, everyone who saw him at the time believed him to be dead.
It's weird to see it drawn instead of 3D.
Yeah.
Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept this photograph as evidence.
All right. It's going to be important then. Understood.
One more thing, Defendant.
Yes, my lord.
Do you have anything in particular that you would like to say?
That flat is haunted by a specter.
Whoa, what's this about the Spectre?
Countless strange events have been occurring one after another in my flat. The previous tenant of my room dies a strange death. A lady is stabbed right outside the flat. My neighbor is poisoned, and then there's me. Despite looking hale and hearty, I've almost met with death far too many times to count.
Almost met with death? What exactly do you mean?
That night was the exact same. After returning from Mr. Pretency's room, I lit the gas stove with a blazing fire and started on my bed. But just then, the gas stove went out, and death tried to force itself upon me with nary soul knowing.
You really shouldn't leave the stove on when you go to sleep, you know.
Wait a minute. Now, I was thinking of how you were talking about the whole cat thing, the cat snuggle up on him. And then I was going to say, maybe he's like allergic to cats. So at night he can't breathe. I was like, well, he's probably had the cat for a while. But what if there's a gas leak? They've made a big deal about gas in this case and gases in the apartment. Because if there's a gas leak, just so you know, natural gas is very bad for you.
Yes.
Natural gas, it didn't used to be at the time, but now natural gas is scented because usually you can't smell gas, but it is extremely toxic and you can die from it. Which is why gas companies actually add a scent to their gas. If you have a gas home and you smell something, that's your key of, oh, I need to leave and call for some help. So maybe he has...
Like back then, they had nothing like that.
No, so maybe he has a gas leak, which is why his stove went out. And then instead of it going to his stove, it just leaked into his apartment. And then he's suffocating because he's breathing in gas instead of oxygen.
But he thinks it's a specter trying to choke him.
Exactly. Interesting theory. We'll see if it's anything close to that. Probably not. Watch it be the cat lying on his neck every single fucking night.
I like the cat theory better.
I do too, because it's more fun
It
and
is.
less deadly.
Yeah.
But the Landwaiter's nights are freezing. Icicles even hanging from my nose. However, my shivering self is now being made to look like I poisoned my own neighbor. Oh, will this curse stop at nothing to ruin me?
Very well. I believe I understand the situation now.
I would bring to everyone's attention that there's one very fatal fact in all of this.
And that would be...
Mr. Pretency has thankfully already regained consciousness. However, the moment he did, he accused the defendant of poisoning him.
Ah, shit.
The poison he drank that night was in his tea. What's more, that very same tea was prepared by the ill-intentioned defendant himself.
My word!
Unfortunately, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Order!
Right. This is the most important part of this case. Assuming Souseki really is innocent, why would the victim accuse him?
What do you have to say about this accusation, defendant?
I did indeed bring piping hot tea to his room that night as a token of goodwill. The water pipes had frozen up, so I even went out of my way to go and buy some water to boil. But this is the fruit of my toil. Never shall I prepare tea again.
The water pipes were frozen?
This is the first time we've heard about that.
That is enough. By the law of the British Empire, the defendant has the right to at least one cross-examination. Request testimony from the witnesses. Do you have any objections, Lord Van Zeeks?
I have none, my lord.
Stop being so fancy.
And testify about your actions on the night of the crime, defendant.
Yes, my lord!
All right. Yeah, this is going to be an uphill battle. Okay.
It is true that I visited the victim's flat at around 9 p.m., tea in hand. A red-hot literary debate accompanied our steaming hot tea, and left for my room at 11. That man locked the door with his own hands. My tea was harmless.
I think it's strychnine.
Strychnine is a slaughtering poison. You will die right from drinking it. The victim would have been able to lock the door. No problem, sir.
Understood.
It's either strychnine or strike.
I'm just going to call it the S word.
Poison S. Chemical S.
Chemical S.
I certainly don't see any issues either.
Actually, there was something in that testimony that caught my attention. Souseki claimed that his tea was harmless. But surely the cups must have already been tested for poison.
No, she's right.
Well, the thing is, the appropriate tests have yet to be performed.
What? You mean to tell me that the teacups haven't been examined yet?
Well, why not? That's the first thing you should have done.
I agree.
Don't get your uniform in a bunch now, Japanese boy.
Huh?
They would have jumped at the opportunity to test the cups if they could.
Are you saying they couldn't?
There wasn't a drop of tea left in the pot or cups left at the crime scene. I'd say those two buffoons drank every last bit of it.
Even with modern technology, it's impossible to perform any analysis without this subject.
All we needed was one tiny drop.
I see.
At any rate,
Then how do you know?
the victim consumed nothing save for that tea on the night of the crime.
Ah,
I see. Thank you for your explanation.
Attorney, might I suggest you take a look at the jury?
huh?
I'm sure even you can hear the unspoken decision. They know the defendant is guilty. It's been all but decided that your client will be sent to the gallows. Before long, you will be known as the boy who let his countrymen perish.
I can feel the jurors glaring in this direction.
Boom.
But I have to keep my chin up and my back straight.
Now, defense, begin your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord.
The eyes have returned.
Yeah, they have. Cross-examination. Now, let me see if I can. Do we have the second cup as evidence? Or we have the pair of teacups. Can I inspect them? Is there a drop in here? Ah, oh, damn. I was like, maybe there'd be a drop in the
You
teacup that
really
we got
think
from
that
the table.
we would find it?
Well, I know that we had a second. I knew that we got a cup from the evidence
Wait,
thing
hold
in the
up.
room.
I see something different already. One of them has a line.
That is true. So one of them might have been empty in general? Let's take a look at this. This is the cup that Mr. Pregnancy used, right? There's a reddish stain on the
Yeah.
inside.
That's a tea stain, like the kind left by green tea.
Really? Never seen one before.
You haven't?
Whenever I get tea, I just chug the whole cup down at once. Drink it while it's hot. That's what it means to be Japanese.
Surely there are better parts of our culture to share with the British.
What about this one? This one is
Isn't this the teacup that Souseki used?
It's spotless, unlike the other one.
He must have gulped down all the tea before it could leave a stain.
True Japanese man. Great minds think alike.
Oh my god. Huh?
If you only take little sips, the tea will get cold.
I suppose I have much to teach you about the way of tea.
Well, it's been added at least, so that'll be important at some point. But for now, nothing on that stuff. So let's go ahead and press the part about the 9 p.m. tea in hand. Were you close friends with the victim?
I was not! No, absolutely was not close friends with him! Never, and never, as the British say. As the British say. Fuck.
He really was quick to deny that. So what brought you to his room that night?
Mr. Pretense, he was quite the imprudent scholar. He aspired to study English literature as I did. Few debates naturally occurred between us.
I wouldn't expect a Japanese man to understand the true significance of English literature.
We're also discussing literature on the night of the crime?
That day I returned home after being declared not guilty. At around 6 p.m., I bumped into Mr. Pretense in front of our home. A short chat quickly intensified, and thus we decided to continue debating later that night. He happened to be busy just then, so we chose 9 p.m. as the time and his room as the place. There's nothing wrong with that! Nothing at all, I say! Never and ever!
He certainly was quick to deny any assumptions.
Testify about what happened when you visited the victim's flat.
Alright, literary debate that went on when I left for his room at 11. This literary debate was about the works of Shakespeare, right?
Shakespeare, you say? That's quite the classical topic for debate.
Indeed it was, my lord! Romeo vs. Juliet, who was the stronger? Undoubtedly a fascinating topic.
Romeo versus Juliet?
Who was the stronger?
Out of curiosity, who won?
We decided it would be faster to settle through a real-life experiment.
I...
Thus we fought it out. In Greco-Roman style, of course.
Excuse me.
Mr. Pretency has costumes prepared in his room for such occasions.
By real life experiment, do you mean you actually in costume?
He was Romeo and I was Juliet.
God!
At the end of that deadlocked battle, Team Juliet reigned victorious, It was my defining moment as a Japanese man!
I don't think I could imagine anything more terrifying if I tried.
That decided is true that you prepared tea and shared it with the victim, correct?
Yes, I poured the water in my room and brought the pot to him. I'd heard that the man was so poor that he couldn't even afford to drink tea.
Come to think of it, I didn't see any tea leaves in the victim's room.
I only wish to be a hospitable neighbor. Why must you all look upon me so doubtfully? My blacker than midnight tea is innocent, I say!
Explain the basis for your claim.
Alright, the man locked the door with his own hands. My tea was harmless. As I recall, there wasn't even a single drop of tea left anywhere in the victim's room.
That'd be right. The champ emptied the pot as though he looked it clean. Not a drop was left according to our investigation.
So, Seki, you returned to your own room at 11 p.m., right?
Quite so! I swear it on the holy light of heaven!
The landlord testified to that effect as well. Did the defendant here return to his room at around 11?
How could their landlord be so sure of that?
Well, they said the fire in the lamps told him.
The lamps?
Oh boy, it's a hard one to explain, but so you probably turned on the gas in his room, making Mr. Garrett's appliances flicker.
Mr. Garrett seems rather obsessed with watching those flickers.
I can say with certainty that the man's room has only one key. Only has one key. As such, he must have locked it from the inside.
The victim also mentioned this.
That must be proof my tea is innocent. You drank it, you dropped dead. It's the only time you can claim poisoning.
Sorry, but it's not that simple.
Why not?
Alright, so I can poison one die right after drinking it. Tell me more about this chemical S, as it were. How long does it usually take before the effects of this poison manifest?
According to a doctor performed the diagnosis, it takes about 30 minutes. Vital spasms lead to paralysis, and eventually that paralysis reaches the respiratory system.
So it takes 30 minutes for the poison to take hold of the victim. It's kind of amazing how many different types of poison there are out there.
I never could stomach discussion of poison.
30 minutes. There's more than enough time for the killer to leave and for the victim to lock the door.
He's right. That means it's not impossible for Souseki to have committed the crime.
At the medical report that the doctor wrote concerning the victim. Crime was improbable for all but the defendant, and this document proves it.
Very good. The court accepts this into evidence.
Okay. We should probably go take a look at that.
It really does say it. A slow-acting poison.
I don't like where this is going. Before we look at that
Let's
last
check
one.
that out.
So, 31, small dose of chemical S. After ingestion, the poison takes effect within 30 minutes.
I think it's strychnine. Just saying.
I'm just not going to try. So the chemical S was likely placed in the tea, but no sample was available. That's why they ingested the poison at 1:30 a.m. Okay, the estimate is based on a watch that was likely broken when he fell unconscious. The containing poison was found at the crime scene. Okay, but he drank it at 1:30 a.m. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Alright, that's just the... How do we have that receipt? Oh god, are we gonna have to use that later? Okay. Anyways, nothing else screaming to me. The only thing that's different there is the fact that tea was drank at frickin' 1:30.
Yeah.
Let's press this last one about him not being able to lock the door. No problems at all.
The defendant claimed that the following. That night, the two drank tea together, so if there happened to be poison in it, the victim wouldn't have been able to lock the door due to the poison's effect.
Me and my tea, we are innocent and poison free.
Wrong. Chemical S is slow acting. Symptoms don't manifest immediately. Thus, if the defendant left within 30 minutes of drinking the tea, the victim could have locked the door on his own.
But we both drank the tea right away. Romeo vs. Juliet, who is the stronger? We would not fight without bellies full of tea.
Do you have proof to support this claim?
In my homeland of Japan, we have a certain saying. Drink your tea while it's hot.
If only I could use Proverbs as admissible evidence.
I'm forced to say that the defendant's claim has no logical basis. Is it abundantly possible for him to have committed the crime?
No, I want that statement added.
But.
I want that added because they drank it together. Well, actually, he probably says they drank it together at some point, so we can use that as the
Maybe, yeah.
thing, maybe? This is what I have to work with.
There's something on my mind. May I?
Of course. What is it?
Souseki is so vehemently proclaiming his innocence, all the while Inspector Gregson is coolly and calmly crushing his claims. It's infuriating.
You got that right. We have to find some kind of contradiction in Inspector Gregson's testimony.
I agree. Otherwise, the jury will be happy to hand down their guilty verdicts.
I just need to focus on the poison and the tea. Let's take it from the top. One more time.
Of course.
All right. So.
Spill the scorching hot tea.
Christ. Okay. So. I'm not sure what to... Because obviously we need to put it on Inspector Gregson.
Yes.
Huh. Because... It's the fact that he ingested the poison at 1:30 a.m., which is way after they were together.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be on... But that wouldn't have anything to do with about locking the door. Oops. Because he unlocked the door with his own hands.
He left for his room at 11.
Yeah, I just don't know. Would it be that one? Because that's the one where they talk about having the tea together?
Uh-huh. Because what exactly does that say again?
What the medical report says?
I thought you were going to put the medical report to that.
No, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Because the report says, 1:30 a.m. is when the poison was ingested.
Yeah.
And so if they drank it together, that wouldn't make sense. Yes, there we go. Okay.
It doesn't.
So, Seki, you returned to your room at 11 p.m., correct?
Yes, I do. His English say.
Inspector Gregson, there are no errors in the medical report, are there?
I don't find a single problem with it.
On the contrary, I've found a rather large one. There is a time discrepancy between Souseki's testimony and the medical report.
A time discrepancy? What are you talking about?
I think Souseki's lying, because he's freaking out over there now.
Oh.
According to the medical report, the victim ingested the poison at around 1:30 a.m. However, the defendant, Souseki, left the victim's room at 11 p.m. Ah is right. There's a gap of over 2 hours. In other words, if there was actually poison in Souseki's tea, this 2-hour interval creates a clear contradiction.
The defense is quite right. What do you have to say about this, Lord Franzies?
Oh boy, he's about to drink. There it is. There we go.
Pour one out.
Pouring out for the homies. He's not going to throw it yet. He's just going to take a sip.
Or not.
Or just smell it. Smell the grapes.
Yep.
Smell the grape juice.
My. Right in the middle of a trial? How uncouth of me.
Or he's gonna crush it.
I plead your forgiveness for losing myself in the thought of a lunch to accompany this holy grail.
What?
A contradiction, you say? Please.
Yep, called it.
This Japanese boy seems to be under some sort of delusion.
Delusion?
Suppose the victim drank the tea on his own after the defendant left. And suppose he drank it around the time listed on the medical report at 1:30 a.m.
But it's imperative for them to drink together. And we have a saying in Japan too. Drink your tea while it's hot.
Then led near to a proverb of our great empire. The smile of the goddess awakens with cold tea.
But still, the gap of 2 hours must be another possibility.
And what would that possibility be?
Uh-oh.
Fuck. Maybe, like another visitor came to the victim's room.
Another visitor. Quite the vague claim, Japanese boy.
Or maybe the victim only drank the poison on his own.
So you mean to say it was a suicide attempt?
William Pretency himself has denied that. The possibility of suicide is nil.
Ow! But what if Mr. Pretency was lying?
Right. Okay.
Is something the matter, Lord Franziques?
How rude of me to listen to the sound of the carriages outside of the court during a trial. I plead your forgiveness.
The sound of carriages? What?
Hey,
What are you talking about?
are you okay?
I believe the star actor of this play is about to enter from stage right.
Huh?
Oh god, is the defendant here?
Oh,
or not the
boy.
defendant, but the victim? I'd assume that's him.
He's
Out, a brief candle! Life is but a walking shadow!
Yep.
A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage! And then is heard no more.
God.
And you are...
William Pretency, the victim of this very spectacle. Well, why? Oh, shit. Hello, friend.
God.
The prosecution wishes to call this man as a new witness. I believe his testimony will obliterate all of your vain struggles.
Oh, shit.
What happened to keeping your back straight?
He's the new witness.
Very well. The court is interested. Let us hear the words straight from the victim's mouth.
He has a...
I am ever so grateful, Your Excellency!
But I still have a mountain of things I wish to say. I must express the most beautiful English in the most beautiful English. How would I say it as I am?
You couldn't even read that in English.
Nope. I am Souseki.
With that out of the way, let us hear the victim's testimony.
God. There's that person.
Oh, hi. Mr. Pretency being here is all well and good, but there's that stern-looking man standing next to him.
I feel as though I remember seeing him briefly somewhere.
Now then, witnesses, state your names and occupations.
My words fly up, and my thoughts remain below. That prolific poet and great playwright William Shakespeare. How wonderful it would be were I the reincarnation of he. Such are the musings of me, William Pretency.
Oh my God. Oh my... That...
Did you want to do Meter Man, or
He's the cargo meter man.
did you want to do his voice, or?
I guess. But I don't know. What voice did I give him before?
I don't know, but right now I'm just like, Meter Man. That would be what I'd do if I was him.
Yeah.
Just like a low-toned, what was low-toned, what was the guy from King of the Hill? That was,
Oh my God, really?
right there, yeah.
Boomhauer?
Boomhauser, that was the guy, or Boomhauer.
Hauser? Hauer, I said.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
I'm
What
bad
is
at
he,
things.
German now?
Boomhauser.
Oh no. What have you done?
But like he just looks, it looks like it would fit him right now because he's got a chin like a potato, man. Jesus. So did you want it, or did you want me to go ahead and do my
You
thing?
seem like you really want to do it.
No, it's up to you. What you thinking? What you think, Thunkin?
He just seems like you'd have a to me.
Accomplished a boat named the Cargo Meterman.
That sounds very much like the judge, though.
It sounds like this. What's you talking about?
I'm just saying he sounds like the judge toned down just a smidge.
All right, well, I'm a girl and you're not, so fine.
Well, you know what? We'll let the audience decide. Let us know in the comments, because we're going to continue this next time.
Bruh, keep in mind, I don't have much to work with here.
Who is going to be the meter man? The choice is yours, and yours alone.
Sherlock?
Olmec.
From Legends of the Hidden Temple on Nickelodeon.
Back in like the 80s and early 90s. I always wanted to be on that show.
I know.
I wanted to be on any Nickelodeon show. Put me on Guts. Let me be on the TV. Come on, I would have been a good kid. I wanted free Nike sneakers. Come on.
Evan,
Sorry.
come back. Come back to the present.
No!